I said the hey, yo, I hip it to the hey. Testing, 1, 2, testing. Welcome to the Odyssey. I am Mike Odyssey, and today we're gonna talk about Nintendo news. Yep, specifically Nintendo Direct, and then we'll move over to Nintendo Switch 2, and then we'll talk about everything inside the world of Nintendo, but not in that order. First, I'll tell you about stuff that's happening. Second, we'll go over the Switch 2 stuff, and then we'll go over the Nintendo Direct stuff. Spoiler alert, because I will be talking about some information, because a lot of you email me saying, hey Mike, can you talk about it, because I want to know your opinion, what you think about it, Mike. We want to know, so I'll tell you. Let's start the video and then we'll talk about it. Okay, now before we get started, if you find value in this video, you like this, my entire setup here, all the hard work I go into talking into this thing here and everything, consider subscribing and clicking that bell notifications, and I promise you, I will not let you down. I will work very hard for you. You will be my boss moving forward, and I will work for you in everything I do here at the channel. I promise you. First up, we got Detective Pikachu, right? That's the game that's coming out in October, right? The first week of October, I think October 6th. But let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. October 6th, Detective Pikachu Returned is the first game that's coming out just around the corner, right? And apparently some information just got out when it comes to the development of this game that I think you might find interesting. I personally just like this bitch. It has to do with the time it took to be made, and apparently it took 5 years. That's the information, 5 years. And I really don't know whether this is a good thing or a bad thing. Game Freak, over there in a little shop thingy, they have that reputation which they should take more time to make their games. I'm not gonna mention any Scarlet and Violet games. I'm just gonna leave it there. But they should take more time to make a game, so we don't know whether 5 years is enough for Detective Pikachu. It's not a mainline game, it's one of those sidekick games, and we'll see if it pays off, right? Detective Pikachu coming out soon. It looks okay for a Pokemon game, and we'll find out sooner or later. So let me know in your comments if you're looking forward to that game, and we'll talk about it. Next, we got some bad news, bittersweet, right? Because some people grew up with this character, and it's time to say goodbye because the last episode just aired on Netflix. And I'm talking about Ash Ketchum from the Pokemon series, right? Pokemon Ultimate Journeys has been airing on Netflix, and it had to do with Ash Ketchum's last journey to become the world ultimate universal champion of the world I think he had to do like a cage match or something. But the thing is that it aired and it's over. So if you have not watched it, or you're trying not to watch it because, if you watch it, then it's going to be really, really over. And if you don't watch it, then it's not over because you haven't watched it. And so it's not over if I haven't seen it yet. So I'm just not watching it, and I'm going to pretend that it's going to continue. Well, it's on Netflix if you want it to end. Yeah, if you want it to end, it's there. Moving along, in other news, we have Summer Game Fest, right? Which is Summer Game Fest is that big summer convention that happens every summer, or at least for the past 2 to 3 summers, which we have all those game presentations and a lot of premieres and a lot of world premieres and all that stuff, right? Summer Game Fest, you know what it is, right? Well, it's happening again in 2024, and it just happened last month. I think he just a little bit more excited that it went well, I think, or did it, and then he wants us to know, I'm talking about Jeff Keighley, that it's coming back next year. So I guess that's news from the future, and you have it, right? It's coming in 2024, and not only that, but we hear from E3. E3 is not dead. Well, it's in the operation table, and it's in coma. So they're trying to do their best. The doctors are trying to revive it as much as they can, but it's not looking good for E3 because it's I hear the beeping sound. They're still alive, right? Because there's some news out there that says that they want to be back by 2025. I'm guessing they're probably going to clone it and bring something else to life other than the E3 we all know and love. But apparently E3 is not yet completely oofed. That means dead in Roblox, kind of language. And it's coming back. Apparently they're doing a revamp for E3. So that's, Summer Game Fest coming back. E3 is trying to come back to life. That's the news for that. Let's go ahead and move on. So before we move into today's main topics, right, we have another news here that apparently a leaker, a well-known leaker, just stated that The Legend of Zelda is currently in production by Universal Illumination Studios. I wonder where I heard that before. Oh yeah, 2 months or 3 months ago by this guy, because I already put it out there. I already mentioned it. I said, hey, I have a little source here that gave me this piece of information that Nintendo is working closely with Universal and Illumination because they're the same company. Illumination is Universal. Universal is Illumination. You know, if you go to Universal Studios, you'll see all the Illumination characters there because they're the same company. They're all owned by this big giant company called Comcast. Comcast owns Universal and owns Illumination Studios. At Universal Studios, we have Super Nintendo World. Wow, that's a big surprise. At Illumination, we have the Mario movie. Wow, that's a big surprise, right? And then if you go to Universal, you're gonna get both characters, the Minions characters and Nintendo characters. So basically, I just gave that information out to you guys that Zelda, yes, it's being developed by Illumination Studios months ago. The videos are out there. You guys can watch them. The little thumbnails, everybody was talking about the thumbnails. Thumbnails are cute. And just to throw something more out there, okay? Just to throw something more out there. Nintendo is working on their own streaming service. Okay? I'm the source. Their own streaming service where they will have shows, TV shows. Among those shows is Animal Crossing. Among those shows is Splatoon. Among those shows is, stay tuned for more news later on because I will share a lot more information that I have behind the scenes. Okay? Again, look at the date, mark this calendar. Mike Odyssey just delivered to you that Nintendo is starting a platform which will probably be part of their next Nintendo console where they stream movies as well and episodes and TV shows, which will air directly on the Switch 2 online service. There you have it. There's information for you guys to enjoy. All right, so I think it's time to move to our basic main topics after I just gave you some information there, some little behind the scenes or behind the walls information there. So today's topics have to do with the Nintendo Direct and the Switch 2. Now, I'm going to go over the Switch 2 information first because the Direct thing has some leaks in it. And if those of you who do not want to know about the leaks, then this is your last topic. If you want to know, then continue watching the video and we'll continue talking about it. So the first thing I want to talk about is basically, I'm going to sum it up. It's going to be like very short. It's about the Switch 2 and I've talked about it in live streams and well, I want to talk about it in the video. So it's in the video for all you guys to watch, right? So the Nintendo Switch 2 and we got some specs for the Switch 2 out there and some information that really gets me excited. I think that this leak is kind of real when it comes to the specs of the Nintendo Switch, and I feel like this console will actually be a really good one, right? So the Nintendo Switch 2, okay, we have Universal Nintendo is a publication, right, that has gotten so many things right in the past, and so they wanted to pitch in because we know we got GVC, CVG, whatever. That other publication who basically mentioned that Nintendo was demoing the Switch 2 behind the scenes at Gamescom, right, over in Germany. Well, they gave us some specifications of the Switch, right? They said it was going to have 5.0 DLSS, which is good for upscaling and for ray tracing, right? And so now we have new information by Universal Nintendo, which is basically, I would say, information from this week, not from today. This week's information that it's true. Nintendo did demo the Switch 2 to developers over at Gamescom, and well, they wanted to just kind of fix some things that everybody else was saying. So number one, it's not DLSS 5, it's DLSS 3.1. I don't think you care. I don't think I care. I just want it to look good. All right, that's all we care about. Does it look good? DLSS or suspicious, whatever, it doesn't matter. Another thing is that it has 12 gigabytes of RAM, which is good. That means that every game will be able to handle better functionality, right? If there's so many things happening in the game, let's say like Splatoon, there's a lot of things happening in the game, then those things will happen better, smoothly, with no issues whatsoever, no crashing, because there's enough space for all that stuff to happen at once. It'll also have 512 gigabytes of storage, which is how many games can you install on your Switch, right? The 12 gigabytes of RAM is how many things can one game do inside the game, right? That's basically what that measures. The more the gigabytes, the better the game can run, and the better the game can handle more things happening at the same time. The storage part, the 512, is how many games can you install inside your Nintendo Switch. So we're gonna go from 32 gigabytes to 512. That's massive. But think about this, we're gonna have bigger games now, because the games are gonna run even faster, quicker. I'm pretty sure Nintendo's gonna upgrade their hard drive to make it look better. That DLSS 3.1, you know what that means? That means that it'll upscale up to 4K resolution with potential ray tracing. What is ray tracing? Well, making things look more realistic, right? Like for example, Link, right, from Breath of the Wild. And how does he look compared to the ground, and the shadows, how the sun comes, and all that little details, right? For example, if you're standing in a glass in a game, and so the reflection of the glass is actually what's in front, right? In certain games, there's not enough memory to do that. So the glass is just like painted there, and then you have to assume it's a glass. But with ray tracing, you can actually look at the glass and see the reflection of the character and everything around it, like in real life, right? So that's what it does. That's what DLSS does, if you didn't know what it meant, because I know you hear it a lot, but nobody takes the time to explain it. That's what it does. And so all this information is really, really good, because there's more information that says that Square Enix, it was testing Final Fantasy VII Remake, and it looked and sounded just like the PS5. Now, I want to go ahead and clear this out there, okay? This does not mean that it is as more powerful or as powerful as the PS5. What this means is that it's using a different route to get to that same product, the same exact end case, right? So, for example, PlayStation use the route of hardware. They have a lot of hardware in that device. They have a system like this huge, right? And so they have all the latest hardware in there in order to teraflops and the butterflops and the flippity flops, inside that system, so that it can run faster. But Nintendo, on the other hand, Nintendo is going the software route, right? So what all those floppy things are doing for the PlayStation, DLSS is doing for the Switch, right? It's like it's like you're doing a race, but Nintendo's taking another route, and then PlayStation is taking the other route, right? But they're both going to the same point and meeting in the same point. That doesn't mean that they're as powerful. It means that they both can produce a picture that looks very similar. So there you have it. The PlayStation 5 and the Nintendo Switch 2 might look similar when it comes to how good the graphics look on a game, and that's actually good news, right? Now, none of this is confirmed. Don't bite the head of the messenger. This is just whatever they're saying out there, right? This is just what they're saying out there. I'm just a messenger. I'm just telling you, and I'm not saying that the PlayStation 5 and whatever, blah blah blah. I'm just a messenger. I hope that gets you excited that there's things coming, and Nintendo is actually working on a really well made console. And let's see what happens, right? I'm excited. Are you excited for that? Because that's the end of the topic, and we're going to move on now, because that's all that needs to be said. All right, so it's time to talk about the Nintendo Direct. Yeah! If you're here, that means you're excited for the Nintendo Direct, because there's a lot happening, a lot announced, and we're going to go over all the rumors and all the leaks and all the speculation, because the Nintendo Direct could be this week. It could be announced by the time you're watching this video, and you're here because you want to know about it. And, well, let's talk about it. Why am I wearing this thing on my head, right? Why? Because that guy apparently is going to make an appearance in the Nintendo Direct. Nobody knows how or when or why, but I'll tell you. All right, so first off, let's get everything out of the way that we know is going to be in the Nintendo Direct. Just because
it was in the prior Nintendo Direct. It's still not around yet, and Nintendo still needs to talk about it to sell the game and to promote it, and mumbo jumbo. Let's get it out of the way, right? We might hear a little bit about Mario Wonder, because Mario Wonder, although it got its own Direct, we still don't have the game. And what I mean is that we might hear about what is the promotional seller for Mario Wonder. For example, GameStop is now offering stickers with it, right? And so Walmart and other retailers out there in the United States and the UK and around the world are going to follow suit, and they're going to announce little things here, right? Little necklaces, keychains, and a whole bunch of little things that you can get when you pre-order the Mario Wonder game. Like you get the stickers now for GameStop. So that is going to make an appearance in the Nintendo Direct. Not the actual game, not too much of it, but what Nintendo is going to give you, or the retailer is willing to give you when you pre-order the game from them. Okay, that's number one. Number two, Luigi's Mansion, right? Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, which is the 3DS port to the Nintendo Switch. They're not remaking it. They are, I think they're updating. They're HDifying it, I guess, to bring it as a port to the Nintendo Switch. So that right there, we just got word that it was a development, but we'll hear more about it in the Nintendo Direct when it comes to maybe more gameplay. Let's see how it actually looks and a release date for the game, right? That's another game that we know is making its way to the Nintendo Direct. The next game that we know is coming to the Nintendo Direct, it's no secret, Princess Peach, right? The Princess Peach power-up game or whatever. I don't know what they're going to call it. Princess Peach Presents. I know there's a star. I mean, there's a stage. It's a show, so it could be called Princess Peach Superstar or Princess Peach Presents or Princess Peach the show or the Princess Peach show or something, whatever. But you know, it's gonna have a name. It's gonna have a release date because it should arrive in the first half of 2024. All these games, everything we're talking about will be in the first half of 2024, since Nintendo has that second half for the Switch 2 and Switch 2 games. So we have already those games there. The next game is, of course, Detective Pikachu, right? Detective Pikachu Returns is another game that is announced but not yet released. So we'll probably hear a little more about that game. It's coming in October 6th or 7th. You guys can let me know in the comments. And we'll hear about Detective Pikachu as well. The next game that we'll hear about is Mario RPG, which is our November game, right? Our November game. Mario RPG, I think, is our biggest game, our last game of the year when it comes to Nintendo first-party games. Yes, I know about WarioWare. It's going to come earlier in November, but I think people are going to be looking for more towards Mario RPG, because I think it's a bigger game. I think it hits nostalgia a lot to all of us who were back in the NES era, and those who want to experience the Mario RPG in a brand new light get to do that, and that's exciting, you know. So now we have all these first party games that were mentioned before. They're gonna make an appearance in this Nintendo Direct, right? So that's out there. We all know those games are coming. It's no secret. Nobody can claim they are a leaker by saying, hey, Princess Peach is gonna be there, or Mario is gonna be there, or Detective Pikachu is gonna be there, because everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. All right, so now let's move over to the category of leaks. Okay, there's a category of leaks that is out there, and the leaker for this category, apparently and unfortunately for my sake and for a lot of you out there, has 100% track record. I mean, it's not a bad thing, but still, that means that there's no fun in guessing whether they are going to get it wrong or not, right? There's not that uncertainty, like, oh man, let's see if he was right. Let's see if he was right. When he has 100% track record, right? It's not fun anymore. I'm like, dude, you work for Nintendo, or your dad works for Nintendo, or your grandma works for Nintendo. You know what? Your dog works for Nintendo, right? Because I don't know. I think you have somebody. I think you work for Nintendo. Are you, Miyamoto? Is that you? It's not fun. It's not fun. So let's go ahead and get to the leaks first, okay? All right, first leaks. I'm wearing the first leak. Mario and Donkey Kong are looking to be getting a game. All right, this game is called Mario versus Donkey Kong. All right? And so it's an old game, but I'm not sure if they're gonna remake it or they're gonna bring up a new game called Mario vs. Donkey Kong, which is the first game, right? That's the first game that is out there as a leak. The second game is one for Nintendo Switch Online, right? A lot of people were upset because it's not for the Nintendo Switch as an HD remake or remaster. Talk about F-Zero, but F-Zero 99, Tetris 99, F-Zero 99, Nintendo Switch Online, F-Zero 99, Tetris 99. I think you guys will know what I'm talking about, right? So that's basically what's coming. F-Zero 99, F-Zero in the 99 little, I mean, we don't know whether we're going to get the F-Zero GX as 99 or we're going to get the NES F-Zero as a 99 game, but apparently F-Zero is making an appearance in this Nintendo Direct. Now, this leaker also mentioned that there is a game on the Wii and there's a game on the Nintendo DS that are related to each other that are also going to make an appearance on this Nintendo Direct, okay? I personally think that he's talking about Metroid because there's a Metroid on the Switch, on the GameCube, there's a Metroid on the Wii, and there's a Metroid on the DS. And how are they all related? Well, they're all Metroid Prime. Yeah, we got Metroid Prime 1, 2, and 3, and then we have Metroid Prime Hunters, which I think takes place between Metroid 1 and 2. Goes in between, right? So Metroid Prime Hunters is a DS game that came out on the Nintendo DS, basically. So, all right, that is going to do it for everything we have here at the Odyssey. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit that like button, share this video with somebody else, and don't forget to subscribe with notifications so you don't miss another Odyssey news video or any product video or podcast or everything we offer here at the Odyssey just for you. Thank you so much for being here. Before we let you go, I got 2 things I need to let you know. Number 1, never give up. And number 2, journey on. Peace.
Live your life within the moment. And don't go wait until the morning. You never know when it is over. All that I know is we'll get older. So let us dance this night away.